Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and this episode is brought to you by Crying Alone in a Dark Room. Try it sometime, you'll like it. But I have been carrying another albatross burner knife. So, again, if you haven't seen these things, real quick, I reached out to Albatross and asked if they'd like to work with me, and they said yes and sent me some stuff, and it was a stack of burner knives and one specifically that I asked for. So, this is the stuff they wanted me to show you, so now I'm showing you. And let's take a look at what we're holding because I do spoil you. And first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We have got these anodized green aluminum scales. We have got a flipper tab. Let's flick the bean. And we have got right about 3 inches of steel. So one thing to note about these things is, one, all the burner knives that I've shown you so far are $10 on Amazon. And two, the steel is not identified. So we think it's either 4CR14 or 3CR, something like that. Cardboard Slayer on the first one I carried went about an hour and a half. I mean, it's some low-grade steel. And I kind of wish it was better steel, but what do you do? The party trick for this thing is you've got this rope cutter right here. Now let's see if I still have, yes I do. I still have some paracord right here, so let's take a look at this thing cutting some paracord, and it does cut. It takes some effort, but it do cut, and of course you got to be careful when you're in here because you can cut your hand with this side of the blade. Your fingies are in a little bit of danger if you're not careful. So, you know, the last one that I carried, of course, if you saw it, it's got a bottle opener right here and a belt cutter right on this side, which I didn't really care for. Didn't appreciate it, and of course, it was tipped down. And I hate tip down, but we all live in sin. So I figured this one, while we carried it, it was going to be pretty inoffensive. There's nothing about this that stands out as a potential issue except for the dingus end of this cutter hanging out right here. And I figured this was going to hang up on the hem of a pocket, putting it in there, and yeah, it did as long as I wasn't paying attention to it. It did catch the hem of my pocket quite a few times, and so normally when I put it in my pocket, I'd just keep my finger right here, and it wouldn't hang up anymore. So this ended up being a fairly inoffensive carry. It did really good as far as carrying it and having it on me. You know, I didn't have my tip down issues. I didn't have a bunch of crap I didn't really need on there outside of this, and even this wasn't that big of a deal. And I did a bit of cutting with it. I had to break down some cardboard and, of course, cut some plastic off of pallets and such. And in spite of the questionable factory edge, it did okay cutting plastic off of pallets. This hook right here wasn't good for cutting plastic off of pallets. However, I did feed the hook a little bit of cardboard. It did okay with that. I used it to break down a couple of smaller boxes at home, some stuff from some Little Bites. That thinner cardboard tends to be a little harder to cut, and it will wad up, and this did okay with it. It cut through it more than smoothly enough. The hook did all right on it. The hook did okay on it. It hung up a bit, but it did okay. So, you know, this is a real quick look at it, but, you know, not a whole lot to say about it, which is a good thing in this case. The less I have to say about something like this, the better. You know, totally inoffensive to carry. It did its job quite competently. It's just a shame we don't know what the steel is. That's the only real kick in the nuts about this thing. We don't know what the steel is. So, I said, real quick look at this thing. It is actually a decent burner knife. For $10, I say you do get your money's worth out of it. And this is one of those I wouldn't feel too bad about buying and throwing in the toolbox or throwing in the car and having it on there as a backup knife. If you need a sharpened piece of steel in a pinch, or you want to cut something too nasty for a nicer knife, this is not a bad choice. Like I said, it carried well. It did the things competently. This is actually a good burner knife. It's better than I expected. So, can't find any fault there. Albatross, this one is good. The last one wasn't. We have got one more to take a look at, and then I am done with the burners. We do have some better Albatross stuff, and we're going to show that off at some point here. You guys are going to pick that during a live stream at some point here for me to carry. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to argue with here. Yes, you can get better burner knives if you can find them. However, Those things are very hard to find right now, so if you need something cheap and dirty to throw in your toolbox, here you go. $10 on Amazon. Now, they did not give this thing a name. Albatross, please start naming your stuff. Everybody, give your stuff a name, not number and letter salad. It gets really tiring. I don't even remember the model name on this one, and I'm not going to try. All you got to do is look up Albatross knife, look for the $10 knives, and this will show up right there. Can't find fault with it, really. So, good burner knife. Actually like this one. And all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. You'll keep coming in. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea what you're doing for me and the channel. We got our live streams. We got giveaways coming up. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Comments. I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.